Why is the 2024 presidential election so important? Hello, America. My name is Greg here in Nebraska, and this is Datanimity. It is Sunday, July 28, 2024, and we are officially 100 days away from the 2024 U.S. presidential election. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, so what? Big deal. I don't like politicians, and I try to stay away from politics. Hey, I understand. No one likes politicians. However, you have to consider that this upcoming election may be the most consequential election in the history of the United States. Still not sure? Well, before you completely tune out the 2024 presidential election, consider the following. This upcoming election isn't just about selecting our next president. It is also so much more. Like what, you ask? Well, this upcoming U.S. presidential election, climate change is on the ballot. And this November 5th, women's reproductive rights are on the ballot. Immigration is on the ballot. Deciding if the President of the United States should have absolute immunity to do whatever he or she wants is on the ballot. Deciding if we elect a president or are given a king is on the ballot. This November 5th, deciding whether the checks and balances of the United States Constitution still apply is on the ballot. Deciding if the Supreme Court is just some rogue, unchecked judicial body, or if it follows a code of ethics and is held accountable to the American people is on the ballot. On Election Day, reducing gun violence in schools is on the ballot. Helping tens of millions of Americans who have been affected by the opioid epidemic is on the ballot. This upcoming election, what happens to Ukraine and to the Ukrainian people is on the ballot. Likewise, what happens in the Middle East and to both the Israeli and the Palestinian people is on the ballot. Stopping domestic terrorism and hate crimes is on the ballot. Achieving affordable health care is on the ballot. This November 5th, education and teacher pay are on the ballot. Fixing broken infrastructure, including roads, highways, and bridges, is on the ballot. Having a Congress that is not constantly gridlocked and that actually gets things accomplished and which serves the American people is on the ballot. And the list goes on and on. More importantly, though, this upcoming 2024 presidential election is about protecting the freedoms and liberties and the very way of life that we as Americans so often take for granted. Simply put, on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, American democracy is on the ballot. You know, what has made America the envy of the world and what has kept our American democracy together for the past 248 years is not only the selfless sacrifices that our brave men and women in uniform make each and every day for our country, but is also having an active citizenry that participates and contributes to this great democratic experiment that we call America. As Don Henley once sang, we get the government that we deserve. There has never been a more important time for all Americans to come together and do everything possible to help preserve our American democracy. The easiest way that you can help to protect our democracy is by, number one, registering to vote. Number two, learning about the issues and becoming an informed voter. And number three, by voting on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. American democracy is counting on you. In order to help protect our democracy, over the next 100 days, Datanimity will be traveling across the United States to conduct face-to-face interviews with Americans from all different walks of life. Unfortunately, I'm off to a late start, but the original goal was to travel to all of the lower 48 states and interview at least 1,000 people by Election Day. And don't worry, Alaska and Hawaii, I will be conducting phone interviews with you as well. As you can see, this is a very ambitious goal, and there are no guarantees that I'll be able to reach it. Nonetheless, you can still expect a lot of interesting, entertaining, and thought-provoking interviews here on this YouTube channel over the next 3 months and beyond. Unlike the national media, Datanimity's goal is to give a voice to the common man and woman by speaking with ordinary Americans about real issues facing their families, their communities, and America as a whole. So if any of this sounds interesting to you, then please subscribe, hit the notifications bell, and like this video. In closing, for all the problems and infighting that we suffer from these days in America, always remember that you still live in the greatest country in the world. And remember that there is nothing, I mean nothing, that America and Americans cannot do as long as we stay united. After all, we are the United States of America. Thank you for your time. God bless you and your family. God bless America. And I'll see you in the next video. Good night, and don't forget to vote this upcoming Tuesday, November 5th, 2024.